everyone and happy Monday. We have this picture today in the weekly planner by Johanna Basford, and this is from Enchanted Forest. Now it's a very old picture. I've done many times before, so I've been scratching my head a bit how to do it a little bit differently, but I'm actually not going to worry about doing it differently. I'm just going to do it my way. I'm going to just start and then have a chat with you about the picture. If you don't have Enchanted Forest or the planner, it is a free download. So I'm just trying to choose a colour while I'm talking. So I can include the link to the free download, so if you want to colour along, I'm just trying to find the pencil I want, you can colour along even without having the book or the planner. So that's rather good. The printout is a bit bigger as it is in the original book. This is a slight cropped version, but I don't think that matters. Right, we're going to start with the branch. I always like starting with the branch because I like colouring branches. We'll probably do the owl as well. But because I'm thinking of doing the owl brown, I thought if I do the branch first, because that's going to be brown, and then I'll make sure that they don't look the same. So I've actually grabbed the wrong colour for the branch. I'm going to grab the walnut brown. I've got my Castle Arts pencil. She says the soft touch ones, these Castle Arts soft touch, and I've got the walnut brown. Any dark brown will do, whatever brand you've got, but try to make it not your darkest brown, because we're going to be adding some darker brown after. I'm just going to come in a bit. We want to see the whole of the branch in shot, so we're going to basically do this bit. Okay, so grab my walnut brown. I'm going to colour the whole of the branch with a layer of this, and I have a bit of news for you while I'm colouring away. So I'm trying to colour this in a reasonably even layer, and I'm going up the little sticks, stalks, whatever you might call them as well. Yes, so the news is that during September I'm taking a little bit of a break. I've got a week off in the second week of September, from the 8th onwards, I think it's a Friday, to have family time. So I won't be doing any recording, I won't be on social media, I won't therefore be responding to comments or emails or anything. It's like a total break away from everything. So that's the first thing. I will be scheduling posts. I can schedule posts on Instagram and on Facebook, and I can schedule videos. So there will still be some content going up, but not as much. My plan is that throughout September, there's unlikely to be any shorts videos at all. I know most of you who watch these full length videos aren't fans of shorts anyway. The shorts are really to sort of bring in other people who might not notice my videos and who might see the shorts. So there probably won't be any of those at all. There may only be one video a day. That's probably what's going to happen, just because of the time that I'm going to have to sort of prepare. There may be more, but my plan is to sort of keep it to one, and then if I get time I might add an extra one. So on my Facebook page I always post at the end of the day, at the midnight. I'm going to darken the base of my branch here, look, like that, and do that all the way along because I want some shadow at the bottom. So yeah, so on my Facebook page I always put a picture up at midnight, and then I replicate that on Instagram in the morning. I don't schedule it onto Instagram, I don't know why, I could do. So I put it onto Instagram in the morning, and I'm going to change that so that it goes up at the time I normally have an afternoon video. So there will be a little bit of something for you to look at. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll get a picture of hopefully of something I've coloured that you might not have seen before. Might be something you've seen before, but yeah, that's just to give you something to look at. But I might also maybe provide you with on the Facebook page, I might provide you with a link to an old video that you might want to go and have a look at, that maybe you haven't seen before or that you haven't watched for ages, something like that, that might interest you. I might do that. While there's no new video, it might be something that catches your eye that you think, well, go and have a look at that. I can't do that on Instagram very easily because the links aren't clickable. Only the ones in stories, which I can't schedule. I can schedule stories, but I can't put links. It's so complicated, all the different social media outlets. But I'm beginning to sort of form a plan of what I'm going to do. So hopefully you can see what I'm colouring as well. I'm doing the top of the branch. So the sun is coming through. I think it's okay. So yeah, it's just, and it might not continue for the full month. It might just be the beginning of the month, because it's sort of, as I say, near the beginning when I'm planning a bit of time off. But I'm just taking the pressure off myself by saying it's going to be the whole month, and then if I get time and catch up, because the other thing that's happening in September is my boys are starting university. This is the Van Dyck Brown, and because they're staying at home, then they might be busy doing things, making noise, they might need some support with help with different things, etc. So I'm not sure, and they might be home more when they need study and help. I just don't know what's going on. So it also gives me a bit of time to settle into a new routine with them and that sort of thing. So I'm just trying to just reduce things a little bit. The videos that still will be happening, there'll definitely be a Monday planner, but it might be in the morning rather than later in the day. I've got to shut the blind, look at that. And there'll be a completed pages video. There we go. My camera should adjust to the change in light, hopefully. I think it has. So there will be normal things, there'll be series and stuff going on. What might happen is, what I try to do is put my longer series in the morning so that the planner pages don't disrupt it. I might not be able to do that, so we might have a bit of a series start, then a planner page, then the rest of the series and that sort of thing, but I don't think that matters really. So that is the sort of plan, but as I say, I'm just still working it out really. I haven't got long to go, a few weeks or so to sort of, well, less than a week, actually a few days, but this video is going out a bit later. I'm doing it in advance, so I'm just sort of working it all out, but I will keep you informed as I can. I will definitely put something in my newsletter. Is it the walnut brown that we were using? It was, wasn't it? I'm going back to the walnut brown to tidy up really. So here we've got a darker top, a darker bottom, a bit of a gap. That's what I want to achieve, but I want it to look a little bit neater, so I'm just going to work over that lower bit, just over everything really, just to sort of tidy it up and try and get that effect that there's a bit of a shine going across this bit of the log. Yes, I will have some more, I'll make sure that when I send my newsletter out at the beginning of September, it has as much information as you need, where to keep up with what's going on and that sort of thing. Yeah, as I say, it does mean that I won't be replying to your comments and things like that, which is really hard because I was trying to reply to them right away. But I may have that week of family time. I have to stay off social media because that's part of the plan. That's part of the deal. We're having a last week all together before the boys start university and everything gets, all really different. So, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not. I don't know how I'm going to cope. I'm going to stay off the news websites as well and things like that, try and really chill, and, I'm quite chilled anyway, but, that sort of thing. Right, there's my branch. I'm quite happy with that. You might want to fiddle a bit more. It could be that this very bottom bit could be a bit darker. I think I want it a little bit darker. I'm trying to decide whether to use the burnt umber or the black. I might use a bit of black. I'm not always a big fan of using black because it can be a bit messy, but we don't have a significantly different dark. Oh, I've just broken my black. My sharpener is so full. Hang on. Sorry, I'm just fiddle-faddling. Just trying to empty my sharpener without stopping the video and going to a bin. But I've just got sharpenings all over the desk. Hang on. Right, I now have a sharp black. This is the ivory black. And I'm just going to put a little bit at the bottom of here. I don't want too much. Problem is, with my blinds shut, the light isn't very good in here for me to see quite what I'm doing. But I'm hoping that I'm just putting a tiny bit of shadow along the bottom. We'll see what happens. I just popped next door to empty my pencil sharpener, and then my son said, "Oh, I'm just doing a survey to get some free money." I was like, "Oh, I know a survey site where he could do that," but he didn't seem keen. I shall try to ask him again, because now they're 18, they can do online earning things that they couldn't do before. Some things you have to be 18, or you have to have a PayPal account, which they've now got, things like that. So I shall ask him about it. There we go. It's just a tiny touch. I'm happy with that. So, owl next. Now, I'm thinking if we do the owl in some of our other browns that we've got left that aren't, I'm not going to go for like realism here. I'm just going to go for fun. So I'm going to start with the raw umber. We might need to zoom out a little bit so we can see him. There he is. So I'm going to start with the raw umber. Now, I had thought I could try and make him look a bit more realistic, but actually I'm not going to. I'm going to colour him all over in a really light layer. So I'm just going to do that while I'm chatting to you. I've seen, is it Cherry Colours did a really realistic owl, and it just looked amazing. But firstly, I can't do photorealism, so even if I try, it's not going to look real. But also, I rather like Johanna's drawing, so I want to sort of use that to help me to get our little owl looking quite cute. So I hope you can see what I'm doing. It's just a light layer all over, nothing special. It just gives me a starting point really, rather than having to look at something completely white, which can be a bit scary, to be perfectly honest with you. And it sort of helps me to have a good look at the design. What am I going to do with what? Are there areas that need to be darker, areas that need to be lighter, all that sort of thing. I can just look at as I just idly colour. Oh, my teeth are hurting a bit. I've been to the hygienist this morning, and she's cleaned my teeth up beautifully, but the gums are a bit sore now. I've had a lot of build up, which she removed. I haven't been to the hygienist for too long. I think 2 years, and normally I should be going every 6 months. So there was a lot of build up of calculus, I think they call it. But and she was saying my gum disease was quite bad, which isn't good. But it's odd because I have that, and none of the rest of my family have gum disease, and I have one filling, and I'm 50, which that's a lie, I've got 2, but one of them is from a chip, it's not from decay, so it's a totally different cause, obviously, and yet I get gum disease, and yet my parents say they don't get gum disease, and yet they've got loads of fillings, and they've lost count, missing teeth and all that sort of thing. My dad's got false teeth. My mum should have them, but she doesn't, because it's at the back. So, whereas I don't, I'm very fortunate not to have that. Even my sister has recently had to have a filling, I think. Where should we go? I think we're going to go burnt sienna. This is quite an orangey colour, but I think it's really warm and pretty. So, would use this. Why not? I don't know. It's not a realistic owl colour, but to be honest, I just want to make it look pretty. I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to come in a bit closer because I'm not going to just be filling in, so you will want to see what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just these feathers here first. And I'm going to start with a darker layer here and then fade towards the centre so that they look a little bit shiny. And do the same here. Now I realise we're not leaving a white shine gap because we've already got our light brown in the background, and that is absolutely what I want, because I feel like I don't want it to be white. I feel like I want some colour there, like that. I'm standing on a paper bag. Someone's thrown it. There's a, next to where I sit, there's a bag of bags. You know, we all have these bags of bags, but this is a bag of gift bags. And for some reason, someone's just thrown one on the floor under the desk. Thank you. You didn't bother to put it away. We'll just throw it on the floor. My son showed me a good funny this morning. It was it's on Reddit, I think he looks at. And it was me while I pack the shopping and put it all into the bags and keep up with the checkout man. My boyfriend's just sitting there on his phone playing Tetris or telling me off for not putting the right thing in the right bag, and then doesn't even get out his card ready to pay. And it was much better than I explained it. But Toby, my son, said to me, "You wrote that, didn't you, Mum?" Because I've always found it so frustrating. Like, my husband either goes off and reads a magazine while I'm waiting at the checkout, and then he comes over when I finished paying, or he will tell me off for packing things into the wrong bags, and he can't cope with watching me pack because it's all in the wrong place, so he can't get involved. And then he just, or you know, that sort of thing. It was so funny, and it does frustrate me, but I frustrate him. I think we get our own ways of doing it. Like during lockdown, when we were only allowed one adult in the shop, he would shop because he's the driver. I mean, I guess I could have gone and shopped. The thing is, I had a frozen shoulder, so I couldn't push the trolley. So I couldn't do anything. I was useless. So, right. So you can see we've got this sort of shine going around here. It's not completely accurate. That one's a bit out. I don't mind. Now, if you want to, you can make that even darker just along this edge to look like this bit is in front of this bit. And I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to use the Van Dyck brown. Actually, I used the burnt umber. We use different browns to the ones we've used for the branch, just so that it looks a bit different. Sorry, burnt umber. And we just need to go just gently along this edge here. Pop in a bit of shadow. Like that. But I had an excitement while I was at the dentist. When I came back, my chocolate order had arrived. It was really funny because it comes in a box. I order it online from Chocolada, and it's 100%, so there's no sugar. I love it. And my local sweet shop stocks it, but they were out of stock, so I had to buy it online. Now with my burnt sienna for this, I'm wondering what to do, because we've got this sort of striped area, and I think we should acknowledge that that's different. So I'm going to go into this really thin bit first and just fill it in. It's too thin to do anything with. And then fill in this bit. I'm trying to decide. I think I'll just fade it a bit towards the middle, like that. Yeah, so I ordered it online, and I was out when it came because I was at the dentist. And my son said the postman came and he was so apologetic because he managed to put his thumb through the box. And then he had to put it in a bag with an apology note on. But it didn't damage any of the chocolate, so it didn't matter. My son said it was so funny because he was so apologetic. Okay, so we've done that. But I feel that I faded it towards here and here, so I think we need to do the same in these bits, but we'll use the raw umber that we used for the background. We'll just put some more on, so we'll make it darker here. And then it'll just look like it's a slightly different colour. Now, as I say, it's not realistic. We aren't even trying to replicate a sort of feathery look on here, because I find it hard to know what to do with that bit, but I think that'll do fine. Now let's bring our owl down. I'm going to zoom out a tad because I think I want to do the sort of wings next, this sort of part here. Yeah, I'm going to deal with each feather separately, so I'm going to get my burnt sienna back, okay, and I'm going to look at each feather. So we've got this one here, we're going to start. I'm going to do the same as we did for those tail feathers, so we're going to start it darker here, and then lighter to about the middle, and then start again at the top with a nice dark bit there, and a lighter bit here. So we've got a bit of shine right in the middle of our feather, okay. If you don't like that effect, you can just block it right in. Or if you don't want to do it like that, or if you find it too difficult, just make it this lovely warm colour. Now, if you're not using Castle Arts and you want an equivalent with a different set, I do have a few comparison charts in my Ko-fi shop. I can't remember which brands I've compared these with. I've definitely done it with Arteza Expert, but I've only got the 72 Arteza set, so it was slightly limiting. I think I'm going to go, this feather here always slightly perplexes me because I'm never quite sure where it starts and ends. I think that's a bit of it as well. Maybe? I think I'll just keep going to here, all the way down actually. What I'll do is I'll go to there and then I'll make this bit darker along this bit. Like that. I think that's the best I can do. Yes, so I've got, I think I've got 1, 2 polys and prismas as well, but I really can't remember. I'm sorry. But the link to my Ko-fi shop is in my video description, and you can pop along there and look in the charts section and find the comparison charts and see what there is. If you want some and I haven't got them, then let me know, because I tend to do a new one every so often. It takes me a little while to get them done. Because yeah, it takes a bit of time to sort it all out, and I might not have the pencils, but ask me, and if I don't have them, I'll just let you know that I don't have them, so I can't do it, you know. And there might be other people that have done them anyway, so you might be able to find them from them. But it's just a little resource that I've started doing because I think it's quite useful, because not everyone has the same brands, and I'm very lucky to have a lot of brands. Like this 120 set of castles I got for free from Castle Art when I joined their affiliate scheme. And if you join their affiliate scheme, if you're a YouTuber, I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So if you're a YouTuber and you join their affiliate scheme, they approve you, or on Instagram or anything like that, like an influencer of any sort. I don't like that word, but it makes it sound too much like gaslighting or something. Ugh. But I know it's not. I know it isn't, but you know. Yeah, if you're an influencer of any sort, they'll consider you, and in order for you to sort of do a review or give something to link to, you obviously need some of their products, and you can choose. Now they have a limit on what you can choose. I think it was £50, and luckily these pencils were reduced, so I was able to ask for them and they sent them to me, which is very kind. I've got other sets of castles as well, but I've never had the full set, so that was nice. But you can choose from the paints and the pens. They do some watercolour brush pens, which I'm quite interested in, but I've been pinching my husband's. But the thing is, his are Winsor & Newton, so I suspect that Castles would not quite be the same quality, but there were a lot more colours. And I tried to blend the Winsor & Newtons, but I'm not very good at blending pen. I need to practice, obviously. Anyways, so yes, it's worth. I don't know if it's on their website on how to do it. I keep seeing it on their Instagram stories. That's how I found out about it. And you might just be able to contact their customer services and ask them, and they might then send you the link to apply. Right, there are our wings. Need to think about what to do next. Now, here I'm thinking I might use, yeah, I might use the other colour, the raw umber for this bit in here, because I feel like it's sitting back a bit, so it maybe needs to look a little bit different. So I'm just giving it a sharpen. So just to remind you, the raw umber. And I'm thinking, I think we'll treat these little things like feathers in the sense that I'm going to fade them towards the bottom to try and make them look like they're layered over each other. It's quite small, the gaps, so it's a little bit tricky. But I'm just going to do my best. So the key thing is to make it as dark as you can in there, and then not very light down there, and then do as much as you can to sort of gradually fade it. It's not easy. I've been practicing this for a very long time. And even though I've been practicing it a lot, I'm still not very good. It just takes, yeah, it's just time, patience, imagination as well. You know what you're trying to achieve, so just pretend you have. That's what I mean by imagination. I'm going to do that one. I'm not going to go up and do those yet. I could probably put you a little bit closer. There we go. So yeah, it's the same sort of thing through. I haven't thought my stomach's gurgling away. It's because I had a big square of chocolate before I started and a cup of coffee. Well, you've got it, haven't you? Isn't that the rules? I've been rereading an old book that actually that copy I haven't had for that long, but it's a book that my dad lent me when I was, let me just calculate, probably 1997, something like that. When I was first starting work and I was stressed, he gave me the book. It's called Mind Store. I don't know if it's still in print. It's by Jack Black. And he's a sort of motivational speaker type person. There's a lot of, but the way he used his relaxation techniques, the way he approached it just really worked for me. And I know it doesn't work for everybody in the same way, but I haven't been using his techniques for a long time, so I thought I would get the book out and have a go and see what happens. So there is that little bit. And now we're going to do the sort of chest, and I'm still procrastinating because I haven't decided what colour, whether to use this or something else. I quite like it to be really pale. Should we do that? Should we use the green gold or the yellow ochre or the cinnamon? What do you want to use? I can't hear you, to shout loud. Sorry, I am mean. I'm going to use the cinnamon. I've got to find it though. I don't know if it's with the browns or the yellows. Maybe it's here. Oh, there it is. See, I've reorganised my pencils and I don't know what I'm doing. Cinnamon. So I'm going to do all these in the same way that I did this and these. So darker at the top, like that, and then fade it down. Now it's very, if you want to really show that these are darker here, up here, yeah, obviously you need to layer up this colour, but you can always use an even darker colour just to do the outline if you want to. You know, here I'll just show you where I would put the darker colour just in there, like that. Okay, but I'm not going to do that, I don't think. I'm going to finish it and decide if it's necessary. But it will make the feathers look more 3D, as if you can see them standing out from being on top of each other. But I think, unless you want him to look like his feathers are ruffled, I think it probably doesn't really need it. They wouldn't be really sitting up on top of each other too much. This is a really similar colour to the sienna, isn't it? It's just slightly less orange, I think. Anyway, I revisited these books and I'm trying some of the techniques, and I'm already feeling, one thing he has is what's called progressive muscle relaxation, which is a relaxation technique to just work through your body, relaxing each little part. And I haven't done that for a long time, and just the feeling of your whole body being physically relaxed is rather nice, and something that I've been now doing twice a day. He recommends you do it 3 times a day, but I don't tend to remember to do it in the middle of the day, or tend to be rushing around doing stuff, you know how it is. The point is that you use it to give you, to relax you from what you're doing, and to give you a bit of boost of energy, because what he does is at the end of your relaxation session, where you imagine, for example, you imagine your scalp and you imagine it feeling relaxed, and then you imagine your forehead and you imagine it feeling relaxed, that sort of thing. So you go through that process, and then once you're done, I'll skip a bit out, but you basically take an imaginary shower and you shower off the negativity, and you imagine the shower has a sort of yellow light coming from it. So the water from the shower washes off the negativity, and the yellow light can sort of heal you, which is rather nice. And then you imagine this sort of light beam of light which can sort of fire at you, which sounds a bit strange, but you can imagine it however you want in your own head, which gives you energy. So you can use it to top up your energy if you're flagging in the middle of the day, or any time really. He sort of suggests doing it after work, so you've got energy for the evening to do things. I don't tend to need that. I do flag in the evenings and feel tired, but actually I don't mind. I don't need lots of energy in the evening. I tend to just watch a quiz, do some colouring, and then go to bed early and either read or I'll play a game on my tablet for a little bit. Probably shouldn't be on the phone just before bed, but you know, it's I have the filter on it because you're not supposed to be exposed to the blue light before bed. But yeah, I'm beginning to start getting into a routine of doing those things. And what you also use it for is visualization and goal setting, which is important too. I'm trying to just concentrate more on the relaxation at the moment, because that's, I think, what I need. Although I come across as being very relaxed and chilled, I am not as much as I used to be. So I want to try and go back to how I was, and that's what I'm doing. So hopefully it's going to help me. And then our sort of family week should help me as well. So it's all good. And yeah, if I have any big breakthroughs with it, I'll let you know. But I think it's just a general learning process. It takes time to practice, etc., like anything really. So, but he sort of gets his techniques from books like Napoleon Hill and Norman Vincent Peale, and oh, I don't know the author, The Richest Man in Babylon, those sorts of books, which are pretty old actually now. I think, yeah, but I've read them all, and yeah, I like them. I like self-help. I've been reading more modern things, but I don't know whether it's worth going back to have a look at some of those older ones as well. I think I might have them in the attic somewhere. So we'll see. Right, there are feathers. Now, you know, some of these are outlined and some of them aren't. And I basically ignored that. I've just done the same thing with all of them. To be honest, I'm not very keen on this. Some of them outlined, some of them not, because it's not consistent, and that doesn't really sit well with me when I like things to be ordered. But I'm just going to come out a titch. There we go. Now we have this line coming around the edge of here. I think I'm going to use my raw umber for that one, and just put a heavier layer across it. So it seems to start here, not up there, which again bothers me a bit, but I need to try and chill, not let it worry me. and just go around here. If you want to continue that, you can just, I think I'm going to actually just continue it there. You can just draw it in. I know that takes a bit of confidence. I can't draw well, I don't like drawing, but this not, I don't really feel that was drawing, it was just colouring in a little bit, wasn't it? Without a guidance line. You can do it. I find it quite interesting with drawing because some people who do colouring are so good at drawing. I almost think to myself, why are you even doing this when you are so good? I'm going to use the burnt sienna next. I'm going to put quite a hard amount, a large amount here, layering up, and then I'm just going to fade it round towards the centre. Yeah, and I think, why are you even colouring when you're so good at drawing? You could just draw your own pictures and colour them, you don't need to. But I guess it's about having some confidence, a bit of guidance, because some pictures I see that people have coloured and drawn are so unrecognisable from the original because they have drawn in so much, and I just wonder why they even use a colouring book sometimes. And there's almost a bit of jealousy in there from me, I'm going to be honest. So I'm thinking, you're so good. This is raw umber, and I'm going to use that for this layer of feathers here, but I'm going to do them like I did these. So we've got a bit of darker colour here and a bit lighter towards the centre, like that, and we'll just do the same on each of these. But yeah, there's some people, you know, they're so good, and I try so hard because to not feel bad about it, because sometimes I think you're too good. But I'm talking, you know, Chris Chang, Gabriel Colours, Cherry Colours, these sorts of people. But you know, it's what I do is I reverse this. I look at it and think, well, what is it about it that is so good that I can replicate? You know, I don't sort of copying, but can I get near that? You know, and I think one of the things that a lot of these really amazing colorists do is they spend a lot longer on a picture than I do. They would spend, you know, I'm thinking, if I took one page and I spent a week on it and I kept coming back to it and adding more layers of colour and spending, you know, doing it slower, so I stayed in the lines and all that sort of thing, it would probably look a lot better. I certainly wouldn't look like one of theirs, but it would look better. But I think I would get impatient, you know, and bored of it, and then I might even end up ruining it. So I think it's just not the style for me, and it's just not the way I do it. Now we're nearly done with this little bit. Now we've got the next layer in here. I'm going to use our, I'm going to use the burnt sienna, and I think I'm just going to do similar to what I did here, so a bit darker up here and lighter here. It just, I think, helps, I hope, to sort of make the owl look a little bit rounder, you know, like this lighter bit here in the middle is nearer to us, and that's why it's lighter. It's catching the light, and this bit is a bit darker because it's sort of wrapped round the corner a bit and it isn't catching the light, maybe. There we go. I'm just trying to even it out a little bit. Now I've got no idea what to do with this, and to be honest, I think I'm going to pretty much ignore it. I'm going to do this line, can you see the thin line, with with the raw umber. Just sharpening it because it's a really thin line. There's our raw umber, and I'm not going to try and fade it because it's so thin. and take it all the way around. You could try and fade it, but I just think it's too narrow. There. Now for this little bit around here, I'm thinking the burnt sienna. And for this one, I'm actually going to do the whole of this section, so all the way up to here, all the way down to here. And I'm going to make it darker here at the top. I'm just going to ignore that little bit for a minute. And then just fade it as we go down and round, just to tie in with this. All the way round to the beak. Like that, and hopefully you can see it's a little bit darker here and here. And we'll do the same on the other side. We're nearly done with our little owl, aren't we? This is going to be the all we do today. Come back tomorrow and work on the leaves and other bits and pieces. I haven't quite decided what order I'm doing the rest in yet. So that bit is a lot lighter. Yeah. Now, let's have a little look. I'm going to keep this pencil. I'm just going to sharpen it again. And do the eyebrows. I can make them much darker here. Fade them to the middle. Like that. And the same on this one. I wonder what type of owl this is meant to be. These shapes I'm thinking might be supposed to be feathers. They're quite small. I don't think I can fade them. I'm just going to block them in. Like that. And then here I'm just going to try and make these little... I'm doing them in the reverse way that I did these chest feathers because they look like the upside down ones. It's a bit tricky because they're small, but I'm just doing the best I can. They pretty much look like I've just block coloured them in, whatever you would call it, but that's okay. And then we've got this sort of background piece around here. I'm going to grab my raw umber for that so that it looks a little bit different. And I'm really just going to try and fade it a bit towards the middle, I think, like we have with our other colours. And even don't forget to do like in here a little bit. And then this bit around the edge, and this feather, I'm just going to do quite, whoops, hard colouring, I've gone out of the lines. Never mind. And the same on this side. Like that. Now, we are going to do the beak and the eyes and the feet. Above the beak, we have this arch. Now, I always think that should be black. I don't know whether I'm right or not, but that's what I'm going to do. And also those two little holes. That and that. Now, I always struggle. We're going to do the nails on the claws with this too. The claws, I mean, that's what they're called, isn't it? I always struggle to know what colour to do beaks, but I think and feet. I think I'm going to use a grey. Do we have a brownish grey? I'm just having a look. The charcoal grey I think will work nicely. Charcoal grey. And I'm going to just make them a little bit lighter as we go up. They would be darker down here where it would be more shadowy. That's what I'm thinking. And then lighter as we go up. And then there'd be some shadow which we haven't drawn in. Just grabbing my ivory black. Just, I would think there would be a bit just here and here. Just like that. You don't have to include that, just a little tiny detail. And then we have our beak, which I'm also going to do in the charcoal grey. And I'm going to start with it darker here. Put a dark bit all the way around the edge. And then fade it a bit towards the middle. Try and put a bit of shine just in the centre. Just layering it up a bit on the edge. And that also gives it a bit of shape. Now the eyes I'm thinking I quite like to do in an orangey colour. I'm just looking at what oranges I've got. I'm thinking we could go quite dark with the Chinese orange, but I think that's too similar to the colours we've got in the feathers. I want something that's going to stand out a little bit, but I'm looking at our cadmium orange and our orange lake. They're really bright, but maybe that's what we want. I'm going to try it. I'm going to grab the orange lake. There it is. Orange lake. Now with eyes, it's nice to have a bit of shine to make them look a little bit more realistic. What I tend to do is make them darker bottom and top. Oh, this lead's really wobbly. So I'm going to put a lot of orange here and then fade it up here a bit. And then put a lot up here. Just layer it, layer it, layer it, and then fade it as you go round each side like that. I'm going to do the same with the other side, and I'm going to have a look and see if I'm happy. It's easier to compare if you do them both, because otherwise it doesn't quite make sense. Of course, some people don't have identical irises, but most do. And obviously this is the person, it's a bird that's quite reddish, isn't it? I am going to grab the marigold and just pop a little bit over the top. Marigold. And take it even closer in on this edge. There we go. Let's come out and have a good look at, oh, he looks quite red, those eyes, don't they? There he is. Oops. There we go. So there is part one completed. As I say, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to do the other parts, but that is our start. So thank you for watching today. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. It all really helps the channel if you do, and I really appreciate it as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.